Welcome to part 2 of what started as just a simple dive into this Ark of the Covenant replica. But now as we ask more questions and dig a little deeper, it does actually seem like there's something much bigger going on. Now to recap very briefly, and for anybody that's just joining, this exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant was revealed this week for the first time in Jerusalem. Now it took 3.5 years to build, 17 volunteers, and the chief architect, Jake, wants to remain anonymous. It's really how they're treating this replica and how they're talking about it that is the oddest to me. So they're saying it's already providing military assistance. They're wanting to get it reattached to all the places it was before. They're wanting to take it to military camps. When they put the Torah in, it became weaponized. And right here, there is going to be a force that is absolutely so powerful that it's going to be something that we've seen in the movies, but for good. The weirdest part is they consider Mar-a-Lago as one of the notable locations that they took it to. Not only that, they took it to Mar-a-Lago, dropped it off, and it's been sitting there for 9 months before it was revealed to the public. And then I was sent this article. Treasures lent by Israel for a White House event stranded at Mar-a-Lago. This is what it says. Ancient artifacts sent from Israel to the US 4 years ago on a short-term basis and intended for display at a White House event have ended up at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Antiquities, including ancient ceramic oil lamps, part of Israel's national treasure collection, were shipped to Washington, D.C. for use in a Hanukkah candle lighting event at the White House. It says that they intended to ship them back, but COVID interrupted that. And it also says down here, Israeli officials recently learned that the antiquities eventually ended up at the former president's Florida estate. Listen to this. It is not clear how the artifacts ended up at Mar-a-Lago. Or down here, they've asked for help in retrieving the items, but without success. Now, you and I both know that things like this, as important as they are, do not just end up at random places. Now, it's a very real possibility that this is the real Ark of the Covenant, and this is their way of moving it to Jerusalem just underneath the radar. It also could explain why Jake from State Farm here doesn't want to be mentioned. Could it possibly be that Jake here is the Antichrist? He's staying in the shadows, doesn't want to be revealed, and he's already participating in this whole process because the Ark of the Covenant will be placed in the third temple. Temple Institute's website, they openly tell you all of the progress that they have made, all of the things that they have done, including getting all of the vessels, the garments, and the priests fully ready. They even have a whole page dedicated to talking about the red heifers. Now, if you're unfamiliar, in order to cleanse or purify the third temple, just like they did with the first and second, they need to sacrifice a perfectly unblemished red heifer, and they use the ashes to do the purification or the cleansing ritual. And guess what? They already have them, and they are practicing now. This was August of this year. They brought over 5, I believe it was 2 years ago. They became of age. They disqualified 3 of them. So now they have 2 remaining that are perfectly of age, unblemished, ready to go, and they are practicing. How significant this is? Because this will be the 10th red heifer. There has not been a red heifer ready for sacrifice in 2,000 years. This is the first time in 2,000 years that we've had a red heifer ready for sacrifice for the building of the third temple. Now, according to them and their tradition, the 10th red heifer will be prepared by the Messiah. And it says here, does this perhaps mean that the appearance of a red heifer in these waning end times is an indication, a forerunner of the appearance of the Messiah himself, who will officiate at its preparation? Now, they're practicing, but they're running into issues because they have to do it on a property that can be seen from the Temple Mount. And that area is very highly populated by Arabs. And if Arabs see them going on the Temple Mount and sacrificing these red heifers, literally all hell is going to break loose. One of the reasons October 7th happened was because of these red heifers. So they have to be extremely careful, and they might actually be waiting for their Messiah. And then we see articles like this, and this, and this, and this. This is even odd. As back as '83, Trump was offering his services as a peace negotiator between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Now, Trump has done a lot for Israel, and that may be all this is, but it is extremely odd that the Jewish people do consider him their Messiah. I mean, there is actually action being taken to link Trump to a possible candidate for the Antichrist or for their Messiah. Like my first video, we're just asking questions here. We're looking at the facts in front of us and just applying some critical thinking. And this does get more and more odd. Right here up at the top, they stress that Trump's goals will come to fruition only if they are geared towards rebuilding the Jewish temple. Trump's political agenda can only succeed if it is focused on building the third temple on the place that God chose, the Temple Mount. He must not advance any two-state solution or this will lead to its downfall. The coin that they made should serve as a sign of our gratitude as well as a reminder of what still needs to be done. Said that Trump's image is appropriate in light of his powerful example as a non-Jew who has assumed a role in the redemption and the building of the temple. Keeps getting even more weird. They told Trump that his name has the same numbers as Messiah, 424. Watch
which
the
is
time.
also notable as he walks by himself up to
Touches the
western
wall at exactly
Let's listen.
424. Now, I want to make it very clear that I am not saying that Trump is the Antichrist. What I am saying is that I believe it is a very real possibility that Trump may not be who we think he is. In all honesty, all Satan has to do is deceive Israel, because it's his chosen people, it's the Jews that believe that the Antichrist is their Messiah. So whoever they think is their Messiah will be the one that will build the third temple. And if it's not Trump, it could be somebody close to him that he's paving the way for. Either way, chess pieces are moving and they are moving quickly. So make sure you know Jesus, keep your Bible open, and make sure you have ears to hear, y'all, because those trumpets are about to sound.